Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Dad.
And we're back for another Coding with Dad.
And we're really back, right?
Yep, because it's been a long time since our last one.
When we said we'd be back.
Where, the title of the video was We Are Back, so... Well, hopefully this time we're really back. But
and we have something really great to show you, right, Kate?
Yeah, we're going to be teaching you in a 3-part series. This is the first part on how to make a Flappy Bird game, which is this game right here. And we're also going to be showing you where to get the good graphics and how to do it. The graphics that look like Flappy Bird, basically. And yeah.
Yeah, and so our first part is going to be the scrolling background. Second part is going to be the Flappy Bird, and the third part is going to be the pipes, right?
And here's the first part, which is the scrolling background.
Yeah, so let's get started.
Okay, so this is our Flappy Bird thing that we're going to start with. What we're going to make today. And Grace actually made a video a while back about how to make a scrolling platform. Well, not a scrolling platform, but a scrolling background. But I improved it in this to make it better for Flappy Bird, because the old one, it kind of like jerked. You can, if you want, you could watch that video.
Yeah, we'll put a link in.
We'll put a link in the description. So if you want, if you want to fully understand the difference between them. So anyway, let's start and look at this. Let's start and look at what this is.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so here we're going to show you how to make this a scrolling background. So what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm going to hide...
Where'd you get the backgrounds? Like, those are pretty cool
the backgrounds. I forgot to show you about that. I'll show you in just a second.
Okay.
But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide our Flappy Bird so he doesn't confuse us.
Bye, Birdie.
Okay. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to find a background, and you're going to look for a background on Google. You could just look up background for Flappy Bird, and comes up any kinds of backgrounds, and this is the one that I used, and it worked really well because it was really cool, and
it has that little
dash line. Or did I use this one? I think I used.
Yeah, I think you used that one.
I think I used this one of these.
Yeah.
Just pick a background, and
really
they all worked
right?
really well. Ooh, look at that! Look at that fancy thing. They did that same thing with the making. Okay, anyway, I'm getting off track. Okay, so. But use any of these. They all work really well. And you could just.
But it's easy to find things. Like, you were able to find all kinds of great graphics just on Google.
Well, basically, all you have to do is you can right click and then click save image as. Be sure not to click save link as, because that will only save the link, not the image, and you won't be able to put it on your Flappy Bird game. But make sure to click save image as, and then you can save it, and once you get to your game, sorry, I have a different tab for this, you can upload image, and you can get to it from clicking this button. And
is that image a sprite or a background? Like, I never know what the difference is.
It's a sprite.
Okay.
It's not a background. You have to be sure to not put it as your background.
What's the
only
difference?
your sprite, because of you have to be able to make the background move, and backgrounds don't move. You can't make your background move.
That makes sense.
So
even though it's like a background, it really is. You really bring it in as a sprite, because that way, because your whole idea is you're going to just be shifting this picture, right?
Yes, and I don't want to have it be. I don't want to have. I want to be able to shift my background.
Right. Otherwise, if it's really a background, it just stays put.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so anyway, this is my background, and what you want to do is you want to be able to have 2 of these, actually, so you can have the background scroll and be able to see the second one. You'll understand as we start putting in the code if you don't understand now.
When you scroll the background, you move it. You're moving the background to the left,
right? You're moving it to the left.
And then you have to replace another version of it.
You have to, once you're moving it to the left, some white appears on the side, and you don't want that white to show, so you have to add another background in order to cover up that white, so this first background can disappear. So anyway, you want to right click on your sprite and press duplicate, and then you automatically have another sprite, which is great, and it's the same size and same shape and everything. If I had some code in it, it would duplicate the code too.
Do you name those so that they're not just like is that a good
Yes, you
thing
can
to do?
you can name them if you get confused, but I'm not going to because we have a limited amount of time in this video. Makes sense. We don't want it to be too long.
Right.
But anyway, so you're going to start with green flag is clicked, as you always do, because you don't want to mess anything up. And then I have these variables, but for now we're just going to start with scroll X, and then we'll replace some later to help with that.
Okay.
And so let me open my notes. Sorry, I need to figure this out because I wrote some notes for this video. So we're gonna we're gonna say scroll X. So we're gonna set scroll X to 0 at the very beginning because we want it to always be reset at the beginning. So
because we want it to start in a known spot. We don't want it to start
we always
randomly.
want to start in a known spot and be able to get to that spot every time. And we're going to do forever change scroll X by -3.
Forever, Kate? This is going to be a
forever
long
and
video.
ever. Change, I put set. Don't put set. Put change by -3. And -3 is about a good
increment. Keep it at a decent speed.
Yeah, that's what I found was the best one because it kept it at a decent speed.
But
it wasn't too fast.
If you make it like whatever you set there is gonna control how fast it's scrolling. Okay, got it.
Okay, you can set anything you want if you want it to be faster or slower. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, next we're gonna do green flag. Next we're gonna do when green flag is clicked, forever, and ever and ever. We're gonna set X to scroll X.
Okay.
Oh, here's set X. And don't do this block. Go to X something and Y something. Always do only X, and don't do change X, do set X, because that will only set the X and it will not change the X. It will just set it to a certain number.
Okay.
And we want to set that to scroll X.
So that's just always going to keep track of exactly where it is.
Yes, because you can't change the X
right
from there. You have to change the variable, and the variable will change the X.
Makes sense.
So, so next we're going to go into this one. And let me go into this one. Sorry, I need a second. Okay. So here we're going to do set scroll X. Or not set scroll X, sorry. When green flag is clicked, we want to forever go to sorry, I want to shut the volume off on this. X, sorry, I can't find it. Set X to, and then we want to go to our variable and our operators and set X to scroll X plus, and we found 460 was a good number to use. So 460. Set X to scroll X plus 460.
And is that what is that putting it? It's putting it way off to the right, where we don't even see it, right?
I believe this might do it. Oh, I see. I need to drag this up a little bit because you need it to line up. And then, is that gonna work? Did I put a forever block here? Oh, I know what I did. Okay, so you want to change scroll X.
This is background too.
Yes. So, one second. I'm gonna try to figure this out. I'll be right back. Okay, I figured it out quicker than I expected. It was actually just a silly mistake, and probably a lot of you guys noticed it, but here I had the other variable, which I wasn't supposed to be using yet, because if we switch this to scroll X, then as you can see, it works.
Yep. So what is it? It's really scrolling two backgrounds, and it's scrolling... Okay. That's the first background.
As you can see, it goes through that background, the first background, and now it's on the second background. And then it gets to this white space. So why does it get to the white space? Do you know, Dad?
Is it because we have to take the original one and move it? The first background, do we have to move it once it goes out of view, do we have to move it to the right?
Well, first, what we're gonna try is we're gonna move the backgrounds back to the beginning.
Okay.
When we get to the end, and this is basically what Grace did in the first episode.
Yeah, it's a lot of cartoons and stuff doing the same thing.
I wanted to show,
A lot of cartoons and different things that have backgrounds, like when you see cartoon characters.
But anyway, I wanted to show you guys this before I show you the method that I use, so I can show you how different it is and and show you guys exactly how to do it.
Oh, good idea.
So anyway, when you get to what you want to do is in either of these, I guess you could code this. But I'm going to do it in this one because I'm putting all the extra code in this one. So then it'll get less confusing. Okay, anyway. So you want to, if scroll X equals, or if scroll X is less than, and it's less than, not greater than. In the old episode, I actually watched it back because I was kind of confused when I was making this. In the old episode, I got confused when it was less than, not greater than, but it's because it's -3, not +3.
Oh, got it.
So when scroll X is greater than, or less than, I think we put it as 506 worked.
Okay.
That might not work, but if it doesn't, I guess we could always change it.
It's always experimenting, right?
If scroll X is less than 506, then
that means
we want
off
to.
The screen?
That means it's just about to go off the screen because you never want to see the white.
Right.
So it's just about to go off the screen. Then you want to set it back to 0 or 0. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's see it, or -506. I put 506 and -506.
Yeah, so that's when, like you said, when it's just about off the screen. And you just experimented with it to see what
I experimented for a while to see what was the best way to do it. So let's watch this, see if it works. And then,
do you know where the seam? Oh, there's the seam. Okay.
Let's see how far it goes before going back to the beginning.
Yep.
Wait, what? Oh, I forgot a forever loop. That's what happened.
Yep.
Okay. So let's try this again.
Yep.
Okay, I think it goes too far. Let's see how far it goes. Why isn't this working? It's not going back to the... Well, let me try negative... One second, let me...
It looks like here, Kate.
See.
Once you scroll...
Oh, you know what I'm doing?
Plus.
I put scroll X2, not scroll X. So that's why. Okay. So -506. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Let's see if this works. Because I keep mixing up scroll X and scroll X2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it worked. So if you watch this again, you see how it kind of jerks?
Yeah.
You can see the jerk. It's supposed to look like it just keeps going, but you can see the jerk, especially with this background, since there's a lot of patterns.
I think in the original video that Gracie did, it probably was harder to notice because it was a brick wall,
because it was a brick wall, and it was easier to... So it was harder to notice, but in something like this, it's easier to notice, and you don't really... You kind of need to... You kind of need to do something else. So I decided to instead do something... Sorry, I need to open my notes again. Okay, so I decided to instead move the backgrounds one at a time. So that's where that annoying scroll X2 comes in, which I kept messing up with. So anyway, scroll X2, that's where scroll X2 comes in. So sprite 2 uses scroll X, but sprite 3, which is the second background, uses scroll X2. So I instead here, I'm going to put, let me stop this. I'm going to put set scroll X2 to scroll X plus 460. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to say, I probably could do that in the same one, but I don't want to get confused. So, so set X to 0, not 0. Okay, so then I want to always add your forever loop. Well, not always, but like in this case.
When it makes sense.
Make sure that you add your forever loop because I keep messing up with that. And then you want to put set X to scroll X2. And then that will set the X always to what scroll X plus 460 is. And then we want to do if scroll X, sorry, I need to do forever, because I always forget that. If,
you want to be on background 2 here?
Yeah. Okay. So, we want to always, change, before I do that, I forgot this, change scroll X2 by the same amount you're changing scroll X.
Makes sense, because you want
them both to go at the same speed. Okay, and then you want, the reason why you do this, by the way, if someone doesn't understand this, is because, you're adding a certain amount to have them be far apart from each other. Not far apart, but where they're overlapping, but far enough apart where you don't see white, and it's far enough where you can.
Do they overlap ever so slightly?
They overlap a little bit.
Just because you don't ever want to see white.
You don't want to see white.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, here we go. We want to do when green flag is clicked, forever. If, okay, so if scroll X2, okay, wait, I should start with this, because this you have to do some coding on too. Okay, so here's the little bit more tricky part. So, here we want to change this part where instead of set scroll X to 0, which would be resetting it back to the beginning,
right,
we want to do set scroll X to scroll X2 plus 460. Because, and this is because that will put the background in front of the other background.
Right.
So that way we'll be able to, that way it goes far enough where you don't see any more white, but then the background will go in front so you can keep going.
Yeah. So
and
it's
then
like
the other background in back that is out of the frame goes in front, and then that comes in, and then it goes in,
right.
the one in the back goes in front.
So they keep on shifting over. They shift over. They're butted up next to each other. They keep on shifting over to the left, and as soon as the first one is out of view, it quickly shifts itself to the front, to the right, to the front, and then as it keeps on moving over, now it shifts.
Then you see it
right,
as it moves over,
I get
and
it.
then once the one using scroll X2 is out of frame, now this is what we're going to do next. This piece of code will make scroll X2 switch to the front.
Right.
And that will make it an endless cycle because it will.
Yeah. So even though it looks like it's
other.
always scrolling in one direction, it is always scrolling in one direction, but It's only two cards. It's like
it's
having
only
two background
two
cards, and
it's just
you just keep on reusing them.
Yeah, it's just you're shifting them over, and then once it's out of screen, you're reusing it and putting it back to the beginning, and then shifting it over. Once it's out of screen, you shift it over to the beginning, and then repeat cycle.
Right, and that's a little different than what Gracie had done.
Which Gracie had just shifted them both back to the beginning at once at the same time. Right. Okay, so now we're gonna do this piece of code, which will shift scroll X2 to the beginning if it goes off screen. Okay, so if scroll X, no, I'm on the wrong one, sorry, scroll X2, not scroll X. Scroll X, if scroll X2 is less than, remember it's less than because of negative numbers, not positive, is less than 506, negative 506, sorry, 506, then you have to set scroll X2 to scroll X plus 460, which is basically the opposite of the other one. Mm-hmm. So you're basically doing all the code but the opposite way by when it says scroll X, you do scroll X2. I think that's all it is, I think for all of them, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. So, yeah, I believe that's it, in case we hadn't made any mistakes. Let's see if that works.
Boy, that bottom striping looked kind of cool.
Oh!
What do we do?
Let's see what we did.
Well, that's okay.
Now we have to debug. Okay, so...
Let's see.
Let me see if... Let me clean this up.
Yeah.
Both of these.
Is that background one?
Oh, wait, I'm not sure. Wait, can I... Okay.
So that looks...
Sorry, we're comparing it to the code that we did before.
That looks good. I think it's background 2 that's just messed up, right?
Go to background 2.
Oh, here.
Here. No forever loop. That's it.
It's always...
I messed up on the forever loops again.
Let's see if that works.
Wait. Okay, that should work.
Let's see.
Let's hope.
Let's see. Oh.
Okay, why did that glitch?
There's a little...
1 second, let me check. This sometimes happens if you... Nope, they're overlapping. Okay. Are they overlapping? Yeah, they're overlapping.
Okay.
Okay. So...
Quickly check it against our...
Okay. We'll be right back. We don't want this video to go on too long.
Okay.
And we'll tell you what we figured out.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you in just a second. Okay, so we figured it out.
Or Kate figured it out, not me.
Okay, so well, anyway. I figured it out. We got it. Okay, so basically, it was messing up because... So this would... Okay, let me restart it. Okay, so this thing... This would set to 0, but this wouldn't have time to react and set it to 460 because it happens at exactly the same time. And so what we did is we did bunch of 0 second, 0.00 bunch of zeros 1 second.
Brilliant fix.
And then so it would get a little bit of time to.
So
reset.
we can guarantee that the set X0 will happen before this happens.
Yes. And if you want, you can kind of just modify the numbers if you want. You can see right there. You could see it like a little bit. You can't really see it while you're playing the game because you're focusing on the game. But sometimes you can see it kind of...
But here you notice...
But if you adjust the numbers just a little bit, sometimes that won't... Then eventually you'd get it so it didn't happen. But we're just kind of lazy.
Well, I think the thing to learn is if you do things like this, like when green flag is checked, and you set two things, you set one thing based on something else...
Then you might want to just do like... Where it doesn't really even... You can't even notice it, like 0.00001.
Oh, you're never going to see it, but you can guarantee that one will the order of operations.
Because it will do it after the other one. So anyway, that's how it works.
So I guess we can wrap up this episode, right? Mm-hmm. So this is scrolling background.
Let me put Flappy Bird back.
Flappy Bird, part 1. And you're going to do 2 other parts.
By the way, why I just pressed show and it didn't show up is because you need to have it go back a bunch of layers. Oh, not Flappy Bird, go back. Go to front. There. Or if you just click on Flappy Bird and say go to front. Although you might not want to, because later there's something else that you need to add, which is the game over.
Okay. Well, let's save that for...
But, we'll start with that.
And we'll wrap up this episode, right?
Yep.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we're going to start doing more of these regularly.
Yep.
And, this is really good. So this is the basis of a lot of games to be able to do scrolling background. So if you get through this, I think, and we showed you there's some gotchas here that we got through, which are great.
Yeah, so if you ran into any of those, that's probably what you need to do to fix it. So
and post comments.
Yeah, just post comments and we'll try to answer all of them. But we'll talk to you later. We're posting again, and hopefully our next project will be a Pac-Man game after we do Flappy Bird. Yep. Hopefully, if we can figure that out. But first we have to post all the Flappy Bird videos. But anyway, we'll talk to you later. Bye. Or we'll talk to you. Okay, bye. We'll make more videos. Bye.